Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. We are continuing the leak list of the next major updates, update 2.49, and in this video we're going to have a look at the Japanese tech tree, the Chinese tech tree, the Italian and French stuff, and also the Swedish. So basically, the best of the rest. There's a lot of stuff here, and a lot of it we've already talked about in the past, so I'll kind of like graze over it and focus on the stuff that we haven't. As always, if you enjoy this content, make sure to subscribe and like the video. Let's get started. So for Japan, we're getting a continuation of Thailand being added to them, and the first vehicle is an F5, but this is the F5TH. This was known as the Super Tigris, and basically this is a massive upgrade of the F5 system in terms of its weaponry. So basically you already have a bunch of F5s in the Japanese tech tree for the Thai kind of aviation area. You have, of course, the F5E FCU, which is really fun. You have the F5T SCU, and then also the F5A. The F5TH is one of the most modern, if not the modern vehicles, which is inside of the Thai Air Force. Basically, it's a massive upgrade over the standard F5E. The Israeli company Elbit in 2002 modernized the F5s. They basically added a bunch of kind of cockpit controls. They added a HOTAS that was installed, and then a dash for the pilot's helmet. And also, at the same time, they added the Python 4 armament to it. And then in 2015, they did another upgrade, which was the third upgrade that Elbit ended up carrying out. They added a new radar, the ELM-2032. This is a pulse Doppler radar. They also added the Lightning III targeting pod, access to the Python 5 and Derby missile, and at the same time basically meant that it could also use the Skyshield EW pod, and the German one added the IRIST as well. This was known as the F5ST, which was the F5 Super Tigris. So the one that we're getting, I think, is just going to be the more standard one, which may have access to the Python 4, but also you could get one which has access to a bunch of other bells and whistles too, which would be pretty fun. Mainly just a massive improvement in its armament and also how to use it. So you also have access to the Thai ground tech tree that's coming in for Japan. First of all, you have the M60A3 TTS. This is the thermal version of the M60A3. You can already find it in a bunch of the tech trees. You have the M163, which once again, same deal. Also the BM Oplot T, which we've talked about before, and also seems to have been leaked in a screenshot. Then of course you have the Stingray, which we've already seen a development blog for, which is coming in for America and also for Thailand in the Japanese tech tree. And in the list too, there are two Chinese vehicles. You have the VT4 Premium, which says it's been delayed. This was the one which was talked about before, which Gaijin said is not coming this update. And then also you have the VN1C, which in brackets is likely delayed because once again, it's a Chinese vehicle. And, you know, for some reason, we're really believing this whole Chinese thing in this update. So anyway, the VN1C is supposed to be coming in for Thailand and also China. Basically, for the Thai one, it says that's likely delayed. For the Chinese one, it's probably coming. This is a kind of IFV which is based on the Type 08, which is an 8-wheeled IFV. And it's pretty chunky. It's very similar to a lot of other vehicles that you'll see kind of around the place. It has a really quick maximum speed of 100 kilometers an hour, and it's very similar to kind of like the Patria chassis. It's probably the closest vehicle to it. Surprisingly, with China, this was actually produced from 2006 onwards, and they built 6,000 of these damn things because it's used as kind of like a multi-purpose vehicle. There's a million variants of it, all designed for different things, and we even have one of them in the game already, which is right here, which is the ZLT good old, I think, 11, which is it? Yeah, the ZLT 11, which uses the chassis of the Type 08. So basically what the VN1C is an export variant of it, where it has a 30mm remote weapon station on it, and also the HJ-73 anti-tank missile. So this is more of kind of like a standard IFV that you would find, similar to stuff like the BMP, and also other vehicles that are around. So basically, you take the chassis that we have in game, which is the ZLT11, and you put a weapon station on top of it, which is more kind of IFV based. So as I said in the leaks, this is supposed to come in for China, but also it says it's delayed for the Thai tech tree, since of course Thailand used this vehicle. For China, we have another amphibious boy. This is the King 6, which is basically just the B6 in Chinese service. So the good old Chinese bought a bunch of B6s and then just called it the King 6. It does have access to the 123mm in the nose turret, and then the dual 23mm in the dorsal turret, and two 1000 kilo torpedoes, 8 mines, and then also bombs as well. But basically, yeah, this is just the same as the standard B6. The cool thing about this vehicle, though, is it'll probably be in the tech tree, so everybody gets access to it, which wasn't the case with the B6, since I believe it's a premium. There's also a bunch of other vehicles we've already talked about when it comes to China. The first one being the M55, which is the 203mm SPH, which is coming to a variety of tech trees. You also have the VN1C, which we just talked about, which is supposed to be coming as a standard vehicle in the Chinese tech tree, and also the VT4, which is supposed to be coming in as a premium vehicle. Basically, this is a further development of the MBT2000, which you have already in the game. It was designed for export, and you even have the VT4A1 already in the game at 12.0. So my guess is they're bringing this in as a premium to have an 11.7 premium, even though they already have an 11.3 Al-Khalid, which is the MBT2000 as well. So this has access to FY4. It's very similar to the VT4A1, which you kind of see in the tech tree itself. So not really understanding what's kind of going on with this. Basically, the VT4A1 has just like a slightly modified turret compared to the standard VT4, and also has access to an APS, which the VT4 doesn't get access to. But everything else is basically the same. So I'm not sure what's kind of going on here. The cool thing about the Chinese vehicles is a lot of them have a very powerful round, even at lower BRs, and maybe that'll get access to this too. What would be really cool is actually if it gets access to a better reload, but I don't think it will somehow. For Italy, we also have an M55, which shouldn't be surprising, and there's also an M55 coming in for France, which is the Belgian one. Another set of vehicles that France and Italy are sharing are their new SAMP systems. They are both getting the Aster SAMPT. So basically, this is once again just a multi-vehicle SAM setup, very similar to what the other ones have. You have the control one, you have the radar vehicle, and then you also have the launcher vehicle. This is a set of vehicles that the Italians and also French have been collaborating on, so therefore they'll be able to work it together. The Aster itself is a pretty crazy missile, which will come along, developed obviously in tandem with some other missiles that are around the place. But the major thing is this one should have a much larger maximum range than many of the other ones that we've seen when it comes to the game. So we'll have to see how it ends up performing. But yeah, it's just another kind of AA system, which is coming to both of them. Not really too surprising, since as we said before, there ain't really other options. For France, we have two vehicles. We have the Glore, which of course already got a devlog. This is a further development of the La Galissonière class. Basically, it has an updated fire rate and also gets more guns on it in the form of secondaries. So it'll just be a slightly better version, which is already there. And then we have the AISNE, AISNE. I had to look for this vehicle. I found some references to another kind of like coastal barge thing, very similar to the Marne class, which we have. So kind of like a vehicle that used to be designed for transport, but then they just added a bunch of guns for it. There was also references to a battle destroyer, basically from the British, but there doesn't seem to be any kind of link between that and then the French. Also, it's named after a river. There is the river Aisne, or Aise, however you say it in French, and I'm guessing that means it's going to be like a destroyer or something like that, or some kind of coastal vehicle, but at least right now I have no idea. So right now it's either some kind of like coastal transport, big gun vehicle, or it's a battle class fleet destroyer from the British, or it's something else. If any of you know what this is, I'd love to hear. The last vehicles we're going to talk about is for Norway in the Swedish tech tree. Looks like 3 Mosquitoes are going to be coming in for the Norwegians as a part of, I suppose, the sub-tech tree for Sweden. You have the F Mark II, the FB Mark VI, and then also the FB Mark VI Ash, which I'm guessing is some kind of reference to either a squadron or a person, because the only other thing I could think of is maybe like anti-ship role, which it could be, since if you know about the Norwegians, they did actually operate Mosquitoes alongside the New Zealanders and also the Australians, and did a lot of attacks on kind of like Norwegian waters to try and destroy a lot of shipping equipment for the good old Germans. So the Mosquito F Mark II is basically a fighter version of the Mosquito. It's the first one which has the standard kind of gun arrangement you see on the FB Mark VI, with the 420mm Hispanos and then the 4 7.7mm Brownings in the nose. The FB version, the fighter bomber version, Mark VI, what it did was it basically gave the Mosquito an opportunity to be able to carry ordnance. So basically, that's where those kind of bombs go in. The Mark VI is already in the game in the British tech tree, and also there is a similar one in, I believe, the Chinese tech tree, which is the Mark 26, which is a slightly upgraded version of it. Then you have obviously the Mark VI Ash for Norway, and I'm just not sure what this is. As I said, I'm not sure what this is a kind of reflection to. Who knows? We'll find out at the end of the day. But basically, there are 3 Mosquitoes coming in for the Swedish tech tree. All will either be fighter or fighter bomber variants and should generally do their jobs pretty well. Hopefully we get the cookie bomb. That would be pretty fun, especially since that's something that the Mosquito could be designed to be able to carry, but specific variants, because you had to remove the bomb bay doors. That's all the leaks for the next major update. It's looking pretty fun. Let me know what you think. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecovo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.